What's up, everybody? We are back with another week, and we are talking about Why the Last Man, episode 9. Peppers, and I got my main man here, Paul Workman. What's going on, Paul?
Not much, man. What's good?
Nothing. Shout out to them Braves.
Yeah, boy.
That boy. World Series.
Starts tomorrow night.
That's right. Probably tonight by the time you see this
Yeah.
video, or it started tomorrow. Well, we're not sure.
We'll find out.
We're at episode 9 when we got one more to go. We talked a little bit off the air about kind of sucks that it's been canceled right now. No word on what's going to happen. And now we're getting to the end of the show as of right now. And
Yep,
I'm not
penultimate
ready for
episode.
it. That's right. And I'm going to just say it. They had the best 2 minutes of this entire show right at the beginning of this episode, man.
We talking no scrubs?
We're talking no scrubs. We're talking no scrubs. We're talking York shaking his rump. We're talking Agent 355, smiling, laughing, starting to dance a little bit.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I literally smiled for like 2.5 minutes watching this. I couldn't stop smiling.
I do like a little bit of happiness in an episode that's about to get very dark.
And it got dark quick, bro.
Yeah.
Tides turn. So I don't know. And so here's the other thing. Pretty much the beginning, they're having this big picnic again, right? They're chilling. And one of the chicks that, I don't know if she has a thing for York or if she's just been without a man for so long, she's looking for some company.
Yeah.
And, she brings the agent this device while she's making a PB&J sandwich. And of course she makes the joke that it's a vibrator. And I thought that was funny coming from Agent 355 that you can't imagine any sort of sexual pleasure, of her being into. So I thought it was super funny. But what is that device? I missed it in previous episodes if it was talked about.
Was it? I feel like it was something she got from that house when she was looking for the head of the Culpa ring in the other episode.
Okay.
Like a tracking device.
It looked like a tracker. That's
for
what
the
it looked
Culpa ring
like.
to be able to find her. So that's maybe my memory's not as good as it used to be, but that's what I thought it was.
So she hasn't gone rogue.
Yet.
Is that the impression that we're kind of getting where
I
make
don't
it seem like she's gone rogue, but not really? That she actually does know her whereabouts?
Yeah, I don't think she's ever turned her back on the Culpa ring. I think she's going to do what she needs to do, but doesn't feel like she necessarily answers to the president.
Right.
Because the president didn't even know she existed.
Right. And I can't wait to dive into that situation.
Yeah.
That happened this episode.
Right. So do we want to do this like one storyline at a time?
Yeah. So
continue with the York stuff.
Yeah. So pretty much with the York stuff, I don't remember what happened really after that.
Yeah. So the York stuff is kind of the quiet part of the episode, where he gets high with that girl,
right?
And she rubs down his arms with cocoa butter.
Damn right.
Coconut lotion or whatever she's using, and explains to him how they came to get out of jail, which was the guards had once all the men had died, they thought the female prisoners had done it, so they locked them all up and then stood guard and pretty much threatened to shoot them if they tried to escape.
Right.
And she said it was either them or us, and survival of the fittest.
Right. That's what happens.
Yeah. And then 355 still suffering from the concussion.
Right. Yeah, that was cool.
Trying to do some suicides out on a gravel road and falls over, and then
we get a little bit of visions of her and
Mm-hmm.
her caretaker, guardian. I don't know. Obviously, it's not her. I don't think it's her mother, but her mother-like figure.
Yeah, she seems more like by when we get to the end of the episode, she seems more like a handler.
Oh yeah, but we already knew that she was in foster care of some. She's in a home. I don't think it's your typical foster care. I think it's a home to specially train kids, obviously, and she's still suffering from that PTSD from things that they've made her do.
Mm-hmm. And so she goes and talks to Allison, and their conversation is essentially Allison's going to try to get some information out of the head of the group there, and is hopefully going to also have sex with her.
That's right. So it wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Yep. And then you see some scars on her stomach where she says that sometimes she's the only one that's really into her controversial experiments, and she's the only one who's going to volunteer to do the things.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much
that's story. Yeah, they really didn't cover a whole lot. They just gave you bits and pieces of what's to come. It really just the most charming part is Yorick and the agent. They're up and down with their relationship, you know what I mean? And York really wants to have something with her, and she's so closed off.
Right.
And she starts I like seeing their relationship unfold, and they get closer as it goes on. Even Allison, she's kind of on the outs too with this. She don't trust this group neither, so now she's more on the side of Agent 355 a little bit more than these people that they're staying with. So that's cool. And we got to see a lot of the hero stuff a little bit in the Amazons, and
I really like their storyline.
Yeah, it was great.
Because again, I thought we might have to wait a little bit for the balancing, shifting of control with Nora and Roxanne, but they put it on display in this one, and I like that because they find a museum dedicated to men and decide that that's not something we can have in this world.
Right.
And run up on these women and just attack the shit out of them.
Right. And, that situation, again, Nora's like, well, dude, like, this was valuable stuff that we could have used, and you're destroying radio and satellites and all this stuff. And she's like, what are you doing?
Food and just dumping water.
Yeah, this makes no sense what you're doing. And some of these chicks, I mean, you got the thing with her daughter and her trying to stop her from destroying food, and she calls her old name, and she corrects her, and she's going in this rage, and it's getting wild, dude, in this group.
Yeah. And Hero's just kind of caught in the middle of it because she hasn't completely given herself to the Amazons, but kind of recognizes that they're probably her best chance for survival at this point. And she joins in, and she after the attack and all the other women have scattered, she's sitting around talking to them, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we kind of figured you'd do this, killing your boyfriend and all.
Yeah.
So Roxanne's let her secret slip, and that could definitely put a monkey wrench in that relationship.
Oh, for sure. Well, I thought she told everybody in the hot tub.
No, she was still kind of guarded in the hot tub. She told Roxanne, I think, in her office.
Okay, yeah, I thought these girls had been known, because I thought a situation happened where they were like, that's your old life, and you can be reborn again, and none of that stuff matters.
Yeah, I think she was still, like, very vague about it. Like,
right.
I'm not a good person. I've done things.
Okay, gotcha.
So the fact that she had told only a couple people about this situation, and now everybody knows about it, kind of points
what
exactly
a shocker.
to who said it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, there are now them. Does this happen in the graphic novel that you recall?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
Everything that's happening in this episode is new territory.
Okay. Because, I mean, really the bread and butter of it is, the attack on the White House and
Yeah.
Yorick's ex-girlfriend and their group of people, which I'm assuming they would have a name in the comics, but we don't know what that is now. They're not calling themselves anything. They're just regular people.
Yeah, they just
anarchist, if you will,
for lack of a better term, yeah.
Right. And it pretty much comes to light in the lighthouse that, Yorick is a thing, and they have his picture, and they know him. And not even just that, we didn't even talk about in the Amazon group. It's now they're going around this dude. Have you seen this dude?
Yeah,
and that drawing's accurate.
So the Amazons decide that their mission now is to because this museum of men has talked about sightings of men around the place, around the country, and so now they've decided their mission is to go find these men and murder them. and one of the women turns out to be one of the women from the group that accost them in that like traders market earlier in the season, like the second episode. And she says, yeah, he shot my sister in the leg and now she can't walk, and he's with a bodyguard, and I've seen him and I know he exists. So Nora, who thought it was kind of a bad idea, I have to assume recognizes Yorick.
Yes,
because she recognized Hero
earlier,
like when they first came face to face.
Yeah, definitely recognizes him. Especially, I think it was the gas mask situation that gave it away. She was like, "That's definitely that dude."
Right. So now she's probably playing this one a little close to the chest. I don't know if she actually wants to go hunting down men, but they have heard of a town with power, which of course our their location has, and they're going to go there and find Yorick.
Yeah, she's definitely playing chess now, because she can go one of two ways. She can use it as leverage with Hero and build that relationship, or use it in the other sort of way with Roxanne and all that stuff. So right now she's playing like she's on Roxanne's side of, let's go get these men. But I know that that's not the case, and we'll see what unfolds.
She tells Hero even that you shouldn't tell Roxanne your secrets because she doesn't deserve them.
Yeah.
So we'll see how these power dynamics work out in the next episode, and if we get any more of them.
But going back to the White House situation, pretty much she's confronted with the fact of Yorick, and she ends up confessing and telling him, and they remove her, from power, and that's when the attack pretty much happens.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't expect the situation that we get into once they're underground in these tunnels, and because I don't remember her name, the far right lady.
Regina
is she's pretty much taken her place as president now.
Right.
But not for long, because she catches, hot lead in between the dome piece.
Oh man,
that was brutal. I was like, yeah.
I was wondering if that was going to happen, because like it really felt like it was leading somewhere along the lines of that, because I mean we start that storyline with Regina and Kimberly and the head of the army, who I guess the Joint Chief of Staff. I don't know what her title is, but she's in the one room. She's like, she got 2 of my helicopter pilots killed. She doesn't deserve to lead. So the 3 of these women bring this, Yorick exists.
Yeah.
And you need to admit it. And it isn't until they're about to out Christine as pregnant that because Christine finally divulges that she is pregnant to President Brown.
Right.
She's like, oh, no, it was all me. She had nothing to do with it. So it wasn't even until, again, just showing the difference of leadership, how she's like, I'm going to protect the people under me. And it ends up costing her the trust of all the women that were on her side.
Right.
And yeah, so then the attack happens and they end up going underground and getting kidnapped by terrorists.
Yeah, essentially. However, she has not run across Yorick's ex-fiance, right?
She does, as they're being handcuffed.
Oh, okay. I didn't see them come into contact with each other.
They didn't come into physical contact. Like, she caught her eyes at one point and she like nodded at her or shook her head, and you could see the like recognition on her face. And it might not even, it might have been when they first ran into the room. But yeah, so she knows she's there. And now these women are trying to get something done, but we don't specifically know what.
Right. Yeah. And essentially that's it. They get into an argument about who's president, and they can't get any answers, and homegirl gets, taken out.
Yeah, and just shot right in the head. And I like that they didn't immediately just have her die. She's laying on the floor twitching and bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was.
And of course, the puddle's going from this. It's kind of coming out to this huge big puddle, and yeah, it was really well done. I really enjoyed it, and I was so happy to see her get her brains blown out. Dude, I'm not even gonna lie, because one of them she had to go in order for this situation to clear up.
Now there's no question. President Brown is President Brown.
Yeah. And
again, when they're threatening to shoot other people, President Brown steps up and she's like, look, I can help you, but you have to listen to me. And then Regina comes in with her fat fucking mouth and
and look what he got her.
Yep. So she couldn't stop stepping in it, and that's how it went.
That's how that went. So yeah, we got one more to go. I know it's not gonna be longer than the 50 minutes or whatever it is, but it would be nice if next Monday I turn it on and maybe it's 65 minutes or something. It'd be nice to get, but I don't know what they're gonna tie up in this last episode. So I'm really interested to see the route they go. But I'm excited about seeing it, but of course, like we talked about, I'm sad that this could possibly be the last episode of the series.
I think what I want to see wrapped up in this episode is, what does Hero decide to do? Is she going to side with Yorick, or is she going to stay with the Amazons? Is the power struggle between Nora and Roxanne going to come to a head once they get there? Because Nora's going to have to, she knows Yorick is born with a Y chromosome. She knows he can breed and possibly bring assigned males back. It's a big part of it. Will we see Sam again, who I don't think we mentioned last week is hanging out in the school playing piano?
Yeah.
with a music teacher.
That's true, because it was just so quick.
Yeah.
The principal, what's it called? I don't think we'll see them this episode though. So
I would like to know that Sam's still doing okay. But and last we saw President Brown, she is face to face with Yorick's girlfriend and letting him know that he's alive and putting on the jacket of the terrorists. And we cut to black. What?
Yeah.
That's quite a cliffhanger. So yeah, there's a couple of questions that I think can get answered, but unfortunately, because it is an already filmed and edited season finale, we're probably going to get a lot more questions than
for sure.
Then we'll get a few things answered, but they have to set up the next season that may not come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's it for me. I don't know if you got any more notes.
No, I had a good time.
Okay, yeah, same. So Paul, why don't you go ahead and let them know where they're gonna find you at, man?
All right. Well, you're going to find me on my podcast, which is the Oscar Worsty podcast, which drops on Wednesdays, wherever podcasts are found. And if we aren't where podcasts are found, please let us know at Oscar Worsty Pod on Instagram or Twitter, and on the Oscar Worsty podcast on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd, where I keep a running tally of all the movies that I watch, at Father of the Fear across all platforms.
That's what I like to hear. And of course, you can find me on the Instagram at ZK Audio. You can find me on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK, where I'm also on Letterboxd reviewing and ranking all my favorite movies. Your boy is just about to wrap up his Friday the 13th marathon, and that's. You want to go check those out, and you'll see what I think about this franchise. But and of course you can check out the Level Up with Benjamin Banks podcast every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever podcasts are found. You can find us, and that video is up on Fridays on our YouTube. Paul, thanks again for joining me. We got one more week.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait.
That's right, and I appreciate it. So we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.